So today we have a game on Nemesis. This is a ladder game featuring Soma and a Protoss player with the alias You Die. Now, I was inspired by a recent game that I watched, which was a SOMAny cast of Soma playing against Snow on Nemesis, and it was an absolutely brilliant game. It was a split map game. They took the entire map and everything Soma had to throw at Snow was able to hold. It was incredibly entertaining, a brilliant game to watch. So I've just come to absolutely love watching Soma play. And so he is going here for a 12 hatch in this PvZ. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what this Protoss can do against Soma, because unless you're Snow or one of the best Protosses in the world, this guy Soma is so hard to beat. I don't know if this guy has a chance, but his alias is You Die, and he's matching with Soma on ladder, which means he must be around 2600 or so. So obviously is no slouch, obviously knows how to play this game, but it is always very, very exciting. And it's, you know, many people regard Soma as probably the best Zerg versus Protoss in the world. So, you know, it is always a challenge for the Protoss player that matches against him to get it across the line. So we have built our forge, and it looks like we are just going with a very, very safe open. Although I think as he scouts here, he might delay the cannon because he sees that it's a hatchery first. He sees now for the first time. Oh, okay, so here's your spawning pool. I don't need to rush my cannon, but it looks like he's going to build it anyway. So it's gone pretty safe. Hasn't cut any corners or gone with any greed. It is surprising still, I think, for players, Protosses at this level, to go Forge. Gateway just seems to be so meta. This, by the way, on this map, because of the nuances and the bloody assimilators and all of this complexity, is becoming quite common to take your third hatch on the adjacent position to the Protoss, because it's just very, very hard for the Protoss to get to it, and it's relatively easy to block, especially if you open mutas. Which we see happen quite often on this map in particular. We'll see how quickly the lair comes into Soma's build, and keep an eye on that. But also just the intercepting lings, sunkens on the side of the map. Soma did this exact thing against Snow, built a few sunkens in the space to hold his position, and managed to transition into late game. And like I said, it was a really cool game. So we can see this Protoss player can play just by the juking on his probe. It's been very, very impressive thus far. And he is now getting his cybernetics core almost finishing. So it was very crisp. He must have started that at 320, which shows that all of his timings on his build are absolutely perfect. 2 gas very early tells me he's going for something gas intensive. So it's probably going to be Stargate Citadel with a rush to Templar Archives. And we'll see what our Zerg's doing. So he's getting a lair very quickly. There's no Hydra Den, so this could very well just be a standard Spire opening from our Zerg. The other thing that Soma's done in recent games that I think is very, very cool, that a lot of spectators are enjoying, is the masses of macro hatches. So we'll keep an eye on any base that ends up with 4, 5, sometimes even 6 macro hatches to push out. And to convert all of the lava and just to become an absolute macro machine. Alright, so how well has our Protoss managed to scout here? Well, bloody well, because his probe is still alive with no hit points on him. But it looks like his days are numbered here. Okay, so finally kills the probe. Looks like we have Ling speed as well, so a definitely indicator. And the probe would have seen that, or the Protoss player who You Die would have seen the speedlings and gone, okay, so there's not a Hydra bust. I don't need to bust out heaps of cannons. I do probably need to expect a Mutalisk or 2, or at very least some Scourge to kill my Corsair. There is the Hydra Den, and a nice little wall here as well with this macro hatch. It's going to be very, very difficult to get in here, and a Sunken would be placed in a couple of spots here to make a beautiful sim. So now we do suddenly see some Hydras popping out. We don't see a Spire, so my predictions are bad. We got speedlings and we went Hydras, and it looks like we're skipping Spire entirely. In fact, the Corsair comes in and confirms lair, and confirms there is no spire at all. So knows now that Corsairs could be good for harassment purposes, but knows that Corsairs are not going to be necessary or helpful in any way to no, don't oh my god, I think he turned before confirming the base. He has not found the third. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Sending a probe over here. Okay, he's going to kill the overlord that's in the base. That's fairly normal. Did you find this third base or not? I wish I checked that properly. He's building a sunken here for protection. Nice little sim city. So I think Soma thinks that he scouted it. So it is making more Corsairs, but the Hydras are protecting the Overlords, and the Overlords are all stacked together. Sending a few Hydras across here as well. In case these Zealots now do start getting out of the map. So only got 3. Where the hell are the rest of your Zealots? Nope, no Zealots there. So just going very tech heavy, thinking, well, I probably can't get killed. So I've got 6 or 7 Zealots, and that'll do. Just a little quiet patch here in the game. So yeah, man, we're just doing a little batch of games. We haven't recorded in a little while. I had a lot of stuff happen in my life. My old man passed away on the 27th of June. So I was in South Africa for a month with my family, dealing with all of that. Then I've got back to Australia, and because I started my own company quite recently, had to catch up on a lot of work, so I've been traveling a lot. Just spent some time in Sydney, just got back yesterday. Spent some time with my family, and it was just good to be with my wife and daughter again. And now I'm sitting, it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and I thought, you know what? Just got a bit of a Broodwar tingle going through the arm. So why don't we just put on some replays and do some commentary and share that with our friends on YouTube. We are over 500 subscribers now, which is pretty cool. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed, watched, commented, and supported me over the about 9 months or so that I've been around on YouTube. I'm not nearly as established or committed as other Broodwar casters have been and are, so my expectations have never really been anything other than I hope somebody watches, and if so, that's cool. So considering the amount of support that I have received, I'm just very, very grateful. And but my motives will always just be because this is fun. You know, I've got no aspirations to achieve anything at all with this YouTube channel other than, did I have fun, and did I make videos, and did I cast games that people enjoyed watching from time to time? And if the answer to all of those questions is yes, then I am a happy rabbit. Simple as that. Alright, so we got some action now. We're moving around, getting out into this weird little revolving dome on this map, which is sort of where the center point where all the action happens. We got Zealot Corsair fighting against too many Hydras, in my honest opinion, if he just kites them nicely, and suddenly the lurker eggs have shown themselves. Do we have a robo? I see you've got range coming in for your Dragoons to fight the lurkers. I do not see a observer though in the production tab, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But this looks like the Zealots are going to move around anyway. Looks like Soma doesn't mind drawing him in or baiting him to where he's got some reinforcements, obviously, but it's also made it very clear that there is probably a base there. I'm pretty sure Protoss figured it out anyway. We just haven't really seen him push any units or Corsairs up that side. So little defense here on the high ground with the lurkers, which is good. Zealots have moved on here. I think he thinks that his base is here. Otherwise, why send them? That is a little bit of a mystery, isn't it? All right, where's your robo? So there it is, and there's your observer. Set a rally point, please. Thank you. All right, so still moving around our Hydras too, but the Hydras are pretty nice. He's putting placed, is the word I'm looking for, to protect the overlords. When I try to play Zerg, by the way, I've said it many times, but I'll say it one more time. I'm a terrible, terrible Starcraft player. So take any comment I make about playing any race with a pinch of salt. But one of the things that bugged me when I was trying to play Zerg was stacking my overlords like this. Like, I'm OCD. I don't like my stuff to touch and be on top of each other and in the way. So that just bothered me. So that was one of the reasons why I was like, I don't know if I can play this race. It's just all clunky and everybody's on top of each other and it's too confusing. So I just chose Protoss because you make your units out of the gate and then they run off and attack other units and die if you're me, especially against Zerg. I cannot beat Zerg, so I'm absolutely hopeless. Anyway, now for the Chronicles of Rabbit and how much he sucks at this stupid game. And let's see what our Protoss is going to do. So what sort of composition have we got here? We've got 4 High Templars, we've got a whole stack of Dragoons, and we've got 1 or 2 Observers. This is in fact the perfect composition if you want to harass a relatively Hydra Lurker heavy army, and that is exactly what Soma's got. So his 2 Observers are perfectly placed. The Goons are going to knock down these Sunkens. The Storms are there to reduce the Lurker's HP. There they go. Why are you going away? You've done such good work. Keep going. What is stopping you? Sending some reinforcing Zealots and Goons to this position. I see no reason at all why he doesn't just keep pressing here. Now, where can Soma reinforce from? He's got some Lings here. Any Niduses? Niduses. What do you need to build a Nidus? Is it Lair Tech? He's got a Hive anyway, so it doesn't matter. So what is he trying to get from his Hive Tech is my question. Some more Observers are in play here. Pushing the Zealots forward. The Goons holding the line nicely. This attack is seriously getting some value, but there's a flank coming. We can see the red coming from the other base, and I think that's going to be a pretty big flank. Let's zoom out to see. The reinforcements from the Protoss have arrived, and now he wants to move away, but he's not going to be able to retreat from this position. So these units are not long for this world, and we can see the flank that's been beautifully coordinated patiently from Soma. I think that's probably one of his biggest strengths as a Zerg. He's very, very patient in the way he trades. He tries to bait out storms, and then he moves in the balance of the units. So all of these Protoss units get tidied up, and suddenly an attack that was looking like it was doing amazing damage has been thwarted, and Soma goes into a 30-odd supply lead. Unbelievable. Oh, that was a great storm though on the drone line. Bloody hell, I didn't see the Templar sneak through there. So that stings a bit, but as Zerg you can just recreate 10, 12 drones with 1 round of macro and boom, off you go. Alright, so the Corsairs flying here and see, okay, so this is where a lot of these macro hatches are. So like I said, macro hatch maniac. He's going to have 4 macro hatches here. He's got another hatch here. Moving some Lings around, looking at the possibility of probably establishing a base down here as well. It looks like our Protoss wants to do that. He's got his 3rd up and running here, and cannons are in play, and he's just saturating that. So it's a 3 basing Protoss versus a 1, 2, 3, or about to be 5 basing Zerg. His mineral patches are still looking pretty healthy. And I think Soma is in a very, very comfortable position here. He's just got such a high level of comfort and confidence playing this matchup. And the only game that I've seen him lose recently was where he allowed Protoss to get up to 4 bases relatively easily. This Protoss is still on 3 bases, and I don't see him being able to establish a 4th without it being very, very heavily and aggressively contested by our Zerg. So we've got the Zerg song this time. I'm bopping and I'm jiving. I just recorded a somewhat underwhelming PVT where Light was playing against someone named Cat. But now we've got the Zerg song, and I always ask the viewers, please tell me which one's your favorite song, if it's the Protoss song, the Zerg song, or the Terran song. On that game, the Terran song was playing, and I decided that the Terran song is probably my favorite. Although the Zerg one now is also, it's really, really cool. Okay, so we're doing it. We are establishing that 4th base. So my caster prediction, which is that he will contest any 4th base that Protoss tries to establish, was validated by 5 or 6 Lings. So thank you very much, little Lings, for making me look like a smart rabbit. I have no doubt though that our Zerg will start moving in a much bigger quantum of units to try and attack this position or this position. So question I had is, what is the Hive Tech of choice? It does look like Defilers. Where are these little wriggly bastards? Okay, there's a couple of them. So the Defilers are going to be effective for sure, because these cannon protected expansions like this are absolutely mutilated by a Dark Swarm and Cracklings. And Zerg has already got Cracklings available to him, and will certainly have Dark Swarm available to him. So those expansions, which are going to become the oxygen of Protoss, are very, very vulnerable to those kinds of attacks. Okay, I'm hearing stuff, but I'm not seeing stuff. It happened over there. Okay. So he's putting his units in play here because he's also taking a 5th base. Now suddenly Zerg has got to make the running here, because Protoss on this many bases is going to be impossible to stop if he goes into Reaver. And if he plays a Reaver Dark Templar defensive style, which is what Snow did on this map to beat Soma, then Soma is going to have a very tough time getting this over the line. So what is he going to do? Where is he going to press? So he's opened the back entrance here of this, and he could grief this area of the Protoss if he wants to. He's put in these lurkers here to actually block that expansion being easily done. A nice little Plague-oo. Couple of lurkers. That's mainly Zealots with a few High Templars. That is not good. Oh, that was a beautiful storm though. Holy crap. And another one. Oh, that one's a bit of a whiff. But wow, that was a nice storm. Storms again, also a bit of a whiff. So I did one great storm and 2 whiffs. Probably the observers not able to detect exactly where the lurkers were, so it was a bit of guesswork. He missed by a small margin, but it was enough of a small margin, if that makes sense. Okay, so we got some more lings and lurkers and things in play. Protoss army is on the move. That's a bit of a waste of a storm. The Archons could easily just tidy up those lings. Alright, so are we going to get a bit of a sandwiched attack? I don't see a huge flood of red as of yet. 185 plays 150, so Soma's ahead on supply. Where's all his army? Kind of just scattered around here a little bit. So it's Ling Defiler. He's making some Hydras again. Doesn't have... It feels like our Protoss doesn't have nearly enough Dragoons. Where are your Dragoons? He's got no Dragoons. I think he's just going with the... Instead of Dragoons, he's making Archons because of the number of Lings he's seen on the field. Which makes some sense, but then if he doesn't keep an eye on the Hydra count, he could get seriously blindsided, because this composition works if it's Ling Lurker. It does not work if it's Mass Hydra. And to pivot into Mass Hydra with the number of hatcheries Soma has is really not that hard. Even this number of Hydras, it's small, but it's significant. It can pick off High Templars, it can pick off Archons. Archons trade terribly against Hydras. More and more Hydras coming into the game here, and we can see the Protoss just cannot compete. He's down at 112 supply, and now if Soma wants to, he can probably go and pressure a number of these bases, but this one's probably the most valuable target because there's another base behind it. I think he's just going to pump out Hydras now more and more, seeing that our Protoss has stopped making Dragoons. Reavers are in the game though, and I'm telling you, well, Reavers can make it very, very, very difficult for Zerg to break the base, and perhaps Soma knowing this and the fact that he's maxed out means that he's going to go for this before then. Let's see. That's a lot of lurkers, man. So this is basically Lurker Ling, and these couple of High Templars here. So storms those, baits out a few storms from the 2 High Templars. There goes the Dark Swarm. Spreads on the lurkers really good, although I don't know what these 2 are going to do, but the rest are good, and the cannons suddenly start going down really fast, reinforcing Hydras. I think the storms that were available here were almost all baited up by the Lings, which was beautifully done. Good patience again from Soma. And these cannons here are working, earning their money, and there's a nice wall kind of that's blocking any units from getting further down, but there is absolutely nothing that's going to stop Zerg from getting in here. In fact, if he sends his Archons across the map, he knows they're as good as dead. Making a heap more cannons down here, so Soma's going to kill this. I don't know if he knows that this base down here is here. I think he's going to go confirm. Sees the shuttle. What is inside you? It's a Reaver. Boom! Lovely Scarab. And there are a lot of cannons though, so he's going to need some more units. Oh no, the shuttle dies, but the Reaver's not in it. Oh no. Okay, just gets 1 Hydra for that Scarab, and these cannons as well. So more units are going to be needed, so some more Hydras coming across the map, but there's basically a central part of Protoss here kind of in the middle of the map that's picking this off. So what Soma really needs to do, and this is why playing Zerg in my opinion is so hard, is you need to consolidate and control your army en masse, and you just don't have enough control group hotkeys on your keyboard. So you've got to attack move, you've got to move command, and you've got to just know exactly where everything is, and then just move in your big swarm. Protoss has made it very, very obvious where his last stand is going to be made, guarding the front door of this base, because it's basically where the only income that he's got going is remaining. Zerg has got every other base, and that is not even an exaggeration. That is unbelievable. It's just got an unbelievable amount of economy and power. And look at these macro hatches. 4 here, 4, 5 here. I told you before I started this game. It's becoming synonymous for these macro hatches. So he's also very smart. He knows that a lot of the army is here. Is actually just sacrificed a few lurkers there. So he's going to go for where all the production is instead. And throws down the dark swarms. He's going to get through and is basically camping any reinforcements. So nothing. Look at the spines getting through here. That is insane. He's got no dragoons, so to break out of this is going to be virtually impossible. He's got four dragoons in the entire map. 177 plus 145. So he's trying to fight this with Archons, and it's just not the composition you want against lurkers. Nice storm though. Oh, beautiful storm. But now Hydras are coming in to flank from this side. Morling Hydra from this side. I must say the storms from this Protoss have really kept him in the game. So supplies might get equal now for a little while. But Soma's got so much money. This base has not been re-established. This is his only mining base. When this runs out, it's really low. This is mined out. This is mined out. This is blocked. This is blocked. I mean, he's killed this, sure. But where's his money? Just going to try and re-establish this again. Wow. He has stormed that lurker line. That's how he's broken this lurker line. He hasn't fought it. He's just, every time he's made more Templars, he's just kept this observer in position, and he's basically stormed his way through the front door. Giving himself a bit of time to re-establish this base, but he desperately needs another one. Needs to establish, maybe not this base, because Soma's retaking that one. And Soma's taking this one. He's just mined too much of the map. That's really the challenge on this map on Nemesis. Oh my god, this swoop of Hydras. If you could just... Okay, he's decided not to go in there because of where all the storms are. He's going to go pressure here again. This Ling's discovered, oh, you've tried to reestablish this base, have you? And you've got no cannons left. Well, that's fine. I will just wreck all of your Archons. Doesn't have nearly enough Protoss here to defend this. In fact, I heard the High Templar that was there die. There's another one here. Does bait out a few storms. Always sends his units in waves. His micro is incredibly good. The Reaver is still in the game. How many Reavers are there in total? Just the one. And so he's going to try and target fire that Reaver down. That Reaver does go down pretty fast. And without Protoss being able to re-establish this base, he's got absolutely no way back into this game. He's probably got enough units here to start firing down these cannons. And that's going to be the remaining income stream. He's got a few units here. Maybe he's going to counterattack. Maybe he's going to try and reinforce. But there's just heaps of Lings coming in here. A couple of cracklings as well. Some Reavers were dropped that came from another base. I don't know if there's another Robo somewhere else. But did shuttle them in. Kills the shuttle. Kills everything else. The Protoss player Udai. GG's respectfully to probably the best ZV player in the world. A fun game on Nemesis. I think really cool for me to have cast Soma playing against another Protoss on the same map, because the style and the approach that he took in this game is very similar to the one that he played against Snow. The main difference is the expansion timings and the number of expansions that the Protoss was able to get in this game versus the previous one was just incomparable. I mean, he got his third base at about 13 minutes, and his fourth base was one that he struggled to get up. He did eventually get it up, and the fifth, but then both were knocked down by one attack, and Soma, behind all of that, took basically the rest of the map for himself, with heaps and heaps of macro hatches to be able to reinforce so much macro power, and you cannot let a Zerg get that strong. Guys, I'm Rabbit.Roo. If you're still with me, thanks so much for watching to the end. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and you do enjoy Broodwar content, then that would be cool if you did that, or just to leave a like on the video is always great. Anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy, man. Ciao.